right, we live tonight. Got a good topic tonight. Got two guests so far. The topic tonight is manhood. We got brother Scoot here, and we got brother Arden. They're gonna get their spill on manhood, what manhood means to them, definition of what manhood means to them. Uh, anyone coming in, we allow anybody to come in and join, and we're gonna go from there. Uh, brother Scoot, would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
Nah, not really, but what's good, everybody? My name is Scoop Blackshaw, little older fella. I will expose my age. I look good for 50. Uh,
How many
Father of
children? How
five.
many? Okay, father of five.
Yeah, I mean, my youngest, lives with me, sole custody, special needs, and just doing what I need to do, and sometimes what I want to do, but for the most part, doing what I need to do.
Brother Arden, you'd like to introduce yourself, brother?
Arden here from Jersey, but now in Georgia. Don't like to say I'm in Atlanta because Atlanta get a bad connotation, so I'm in Georgia. We had a little snow today, so it was a fun day.
All right, that's all you want to tell us what you do, Arden, what you do for a living.
I'm 35. I'm in real estate, been doing it for about 10 years. And started out with you. You showed me what business is about. But then we went on to real estate. So definitely.
All right, well, y'all here, in the broadcast, explain manhood. One of y'all can go first.
Manhood,
Yeah.
doing what you need to do, taking care of your responsibilities as a man, as a human, as a father, as a friend. Yeah, all that. I mean, that's man, not just throwing money, just providing. That ain't, that's not manhood. That's just taking care, helping out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is the emotional aspect of manhood, you know, many aspects.
Explain. The audience want to hear you, brother. You go into details. What
Hey,
what's
listen,
what's manhood?
manhood, like I said, is more than being a provider. You got to be on that you got to work for yourself, on yourself, provide for yourself, for those around you. You know what I mean? You mentally got to be strong. All right. You got to know when to lead and when to follow. Because a great man is gonna let somebody lead every now and again. You got to pick and choose and know when to let someone else lead.
Okay.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? You can't always be up in the front. You got to learn to be alongside of somebody, or sometimes you got to step back. You know what I mean, and just be observant from the rear.
Okay. Brother Arden, what's your definition of manhood and what it means to you?
I can't agree with him more about just really attaining that position. You know what I'm saying? A great follower can also become a great leader.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you can't influence anybody until you've been influenced. And so what is your influence? What is causing you to respond and react the way that you react? And so when I think about manhood, my father gave me the wrong definition. I believe my father instilled in me that manhood was being the toughest. You don't want to cry. You don't want to show weakness. But I found out that that's not really true manhood. In my personal opinion, I feel like manhood is at the end of the day is just solid responsibility, solid accountability, and being accountable to your family, being accountable to your coworkers, your community, being solid in those arenas. And so you don't have to be the toughest. You don't have to be the meanest. You could shed a tear and still be a man. And so my original definitions that was given to me were a little bit jaded.
So you think that not just your father, a lot of the fathers of the past gave us a false definition of manhood, like
What,
basically
without
confused
question,
manhood with machoism.
without question.
Mm.
Because just think, not that I had my father in my life, but I had a lot of male figures like a father, a lot of uncles and stuff. They wasn't giving us that piece on far as that emotional side of a man. They was telling us, listen, say it with your chest out. A man don't cry. Man don't show no weakness. That's a bunch of bullshit.
You
We
got, you
all
got,
know.
you
We
got to
know it
watch. Just
now.
watch your language a little bit. YouTube got some algorithms. We ain't trying to get the page flag, so
Yeah,
we
this
got to
is
limit
true.
the cussing.
But that come on. We all know now. A real man will shed a tear. Will show emotion.
So last night, as y'all know, Arden, you may not know, we had a talk on love and what love means. Um, Hold up, before we get to that, I'm gonna introduce another guest of ours. We got brother Aaron up in this piece. Hey Aaron, I can't see your face. You heard me, Aaron? I can hear you real low, but I can't see your face. When you come back in, I just put you right back on the chat. Look, so there you go. There you go. I just can't hear you that good. I can hear you real low. It's like a tunnel.
What's
Nah.
good, brother Aaron? Oh, I don't want to promote nobody's stuff.
Now I definitely can't hear you. Hold up. You got to unmute your mic. Your mic is muted, Aaron. So last night, right? We had a talk, and we was going into the manhood issue. Arden and Scoop with dealing with love, and what you said, you brothers had just brought up something about emotion. So you think that we lost the disconnect between manhood and emotion, like we never had it?
No, we had it. It just was a suppressed feeling for us because we were taught, say it with your chest out. Everything was about, just by force. You know what I mean? A lot of stuff was by force, like mean mugging and things of that nature, not sit down and conversate, and accepting something that you don't like, that you don't want to hear, but you still accept it. Most of the time we wasn't accepting nothing that was negative or saying out the way. Oh, boo, I like you, I love man, go ahead with that. I just want some ass. Or really into the chick, female, and just not saying nothing, just yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, yeah. Not showing, not telling, because a lot of times we didn't know. Some of
Aaron,
us, some of the grown men now, and still don't know.
hey Aaron, we had gotten to the subject of manhood and what manhood means to them, and we had tied it with yesterday's conversation about love. What's your understanding, Aaron, about manhood? And the reason why I got the mixture of ages is because everybody's a different age, and everybody's definition may be a little different, and everybody's aspect may be different at this point in their life. So, Aaron, what's your definition of manhood, brother?
Well, to start, my definition of manhood is to continue that lineage and that legacy, right? To be that man, to be that provider, that security figure in not only your children's life, but society around you's life. And anything that wavers on that is not manhood to me. It's not a matter of being the toughest or the roughest, but it's being symbolic in a figure around the children, a figure around that woman, a figure around your family to be that stronghold. And as long as you are that, to me, you are secure in your manhood, and I'm appreciative of that.
Okay, okay. So
You heard me good?
I heard you good, Aaron. I
Okay.
heard you good. So let me ask you, Aaron. One of the issues yesterday we talked about was tied with manhood and emotion. And what School and Arden has said was prior to them reaching a certain point in their life, they they were not taught manhood had emotion. How do you feel about that with manhood tied with emotion? Like, you got to be tough, you got to be this, that, third. As far as machoism, how do you think the emotional aspect of manhood needs to be displayed? You heard me, Aaron? He froze. Hey, Aaron, you froze. If you can still hear me. But cuz Scoot and Arden, what you think about that?
Well, I already told you how I feel, but I'm glad.
Both of them froze. You the only one that didn't freeze.
I'm glad that
Yeah.
Oh,
my
all right,
mother.
Arden's still there.
I'm glad that my mother taught me and raised me. Yeah, I mean, along with the village, but she instilled some things. She gave me the woman, from the woman's perspective, how I should treat a woman.
Arden, what?
How she tried to steer me away from the little snotty nosed chicks. Like I'm just saying snotty nose. That ain't the word I want to use, but fast butts. But yeah, what happens. We think we know it all. We don't want to hear what they say.
That's all right, Aaron. It's cool. It's cool, Aaron. I know you ain't. Nobody wants to freeze up like that. It's cool.
Wi-Fi acting crazy.
Hey, Arden. Arden.
I'm here.
What point in your life did it click about false sense of manhood and being a man? What was the
The transition from the north to the south helped me a lot, because obviously the south is based upon hospitality. There's a lot of open arms, hugs, and kisses. And then growing up in the tri-state area, you're not groomed to be warm. You don't groom to just be, you know what I'm saying? If you're not just talking to just be talking. And so there's a big cultural difference in the South and in the North. And I think that the South helped me to gain some aspects of love and touching softer sides. You know what I'm saying? But I believe that Jersey helped me with being concise and get down to business, but the South helped me with being hospitable and warm and giving a little bit more grace in my conversations and things of that nature. And so
having that compassion.
Yeah, it's so the culture helped me, and that's what helped me. And so I don't know what helped anybody else to show the emotional side.
What about you, Aaron? Aaron, what about you?
I think part of what helped me develop that sense of manhood was kind of having a kid early on in life, having a son in college where I had to step up, and I had a family who they didn't let me waver. They showed me this is what needs to be done, and this is the expectation. Anything less than that, you're doing a disservice to not only your child but to yourself. And I had a lot of people in my circle that just kept encouraging me, never letting me feel like any less of a man, but always telling me this is a better path to go. Everyone always being super supportive. That sense of family is very key in terms of my manhood. Growing up, I didn't understand it though, because like my grandfather, he was really stern. He was really hard. So initially you think, oh, this man, he got it out for me. He don't love me. He don't care about you, kind of stuff like that, until you realize sitting down and talking to him that he was kind of right. The things that he instilled in me was all right. So it's crazy looking back at it after all the times where I'm like, man, this guy, he full of this and he full of that. But you sit back and you look at it like, yeah, everything you said was just spot on. And that's the kind of like key that I'm trying to instill in my son and the young boys in my family, young boys in my community. That's what I'm all about.
Anybody that's watching the video via YouTube, remember to like the video. Like I tell everybody, this is how the page spread from like and subscriptions. Hopefully everybody that's watching is a subscribe member. If not, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications, as well as hit the like button. I got one question coming in. Somebody loving this. They loving our conversation. Scoot, let me ask you a question. Even though I'm your younger cousin, I kind of know. But what was the thing in your life that clicked, that gave you like, yo, it's time to step up and be a man, and got you to just was the it was like the bell.
Yeah, what made it all start clicking for me, cause I would get, like I started getting it while I was still in the streets, because I was dealing with a lot of mature and older professional people. And they would throw it in my ear, put it in my ear, but I guess it took me what to go down. When I went down to prison, and I just was sitting and thinking one day, it was right after a family. Actually, it was a family day. My mother and brother, they all came down, and when they left, it just hit me like, damn. It took me 7 drug convictions to realize I can't win in the drug game, despite the money I'm making, the friends, and this, that, and the third. I can't win, and it wasn't like I was getting told on by cats that was standing next to me. It wasn't like they somebody really like just dime me out. No, somebody cat wanted my spot, so they put them on me. So when I came home, that was it. That was it for me. Well, so I thought it was it for me for a while, for years. I went 10 years without settling. I became a family man and all that. Doing good, being responsible. Being responsible, even just doing the right thing, just because. Cause I would still hang out, but my priorities was different. It was no longer about me. You know what I mean? And that's when it all boils down to when you realize within yourself that it's not just about you anymore, things gonna change. Some people get spirituality, which brings form to transformation. Some people just go within themselves. Like I say, some people is just living life for the simple fact life is easy. It's the people in it that make it hard.
I'm gonna ask
Because
y'all a
we know what we
question.
gotta do.
I'm gonna ask y'all a question. How do you deal with knowing that you're at a certain point in your life where you're trying to exemplify manhood and so forth and so on? We got another member coming in. Hey, Ab, just 1 second. I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good. I'm
Okay.
just I'm just, I'm just asking the question that I'm gonna get to you. All right.
All right.
Uh, how do you display when you're trying to display manhood and some of your peers may not be on the level that you're on? Ab, you got mad background noise, Ab.
Yeah, man. Let me see if I can uh work this out because I
All
got
right.
I got
Better you than me right now, and I'm surprised I ain't getting into my background, Ad. My son doing his own thing
All
right
right.
now, and I'm thankful for
I'll
it.
just put you back in the chat as soon as you come back, Ab.
All right.
But
So
yeah, to answer that, coverage you just was saying, see, some people in their circles, they show love and affection to their homies and don't care who's around because like this thing, we all hug, show love, I love you, bro, yada yada yada, and other people will see us like, what's that all about? Oh, that must be some family thing or some military thing. No, that's just the love in which we have for one another. We will do for you what we want done for ourselves. Bottom line, even back then. Now we didn't, we all took one another as we all started getting, and me watching y'all start getting into relationships, throwing little nuggets to y'all about, about how to deal with a situation with a young lady, But for me, I was thrown to the wolves on some things. Like I remember when the first time I fell in love, and my mother told me, "She's a raggedy heifer, don't dip." When my first argument, when I said, "Listen, Ma, you led your life, let me live mine. Listen, if she hurt me, just be there to pick me up and help me." You know.
Next thing you know, you might have been in the bathroom throwing up. You were sick, huh?
Listen. Oh, listen. Woo.
Hey, Arden, what's
289 stitches worth, you know what I mean, and more. So you see, Quentin, you know what I'm talking about.
what? Hey, Arden, how did you deal with your transition, Arden? Like knowing where you at in life and trying to display and be a man and be accountable, but you may have friends that you might intermingle with that they just ain't on that level right now, and it's like, damn, bro, like tighten up, man. How you deal with that, Arden?
I'm 35. I got some friends that I feel like one thing about life is you can't choose your family, you can choose your friends. So you like who you like, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you're going to have friends from all walks of life because you like that person. There's something about them that you like. And so I don't care if you work at McDonald's. I don't care if you're a garbage man. I don't care if you're a CEO. I'm going to give you the same respect. And one thing I found out is no matter the position in life, somebody always has something valuable to say. Somebody always has something intelligent. And 90% of what they say may not be intelligent, but 10% of what they have, it could be some jewels for you to.
If you don't apply, let it fly.
Let me ask. I'm gonna ask you guys a question. We got a question from the chat with Pam.
I see it.
She asked a question. Don't look at that because we might get some trolls in there. They gonna laugh at them jokes you got. That rabbity heifer you using. Now look, Pam asked the question. Arden, I want to go with you at first with this. What would you do to teach and influence young boys coming up now about being a man and being okay to show emotion?
Hold on one sec. Bring me my phone, Isaiah.
You heard me, Arden?
To teach a young man, I think there's a thin line now because a lot of young men are being overexposed to feminism. And so I still want a kid to be active in sports. I still want a kid to have a sense of altruism because I feel like this generation now, maybe 18 and to 20 and 30, they wear skinny jeans and they embrace a lot of feminine traits. And so when I'm dealing with them, I want them to know, hey, it's okay to be a man, but as a man, you want to identify between what is being super feminine and what is being correct emotionalism. And I feel like correct emotionalism is one thing about life, we all have pain. We all can identify with pain, but how we cope with that pain is something that as a man, you don't want to embrace the female characteristics. So that may seem a little jarred and that may seem a little jaded, but there's nobody that can't relate to pain. That's a common denominator. We all got pain. We all have heartbreaks. We all have issues. And so as a man, creating those places, creating those opportunities, whether you exercise, whether you eat right, whether you
all right,
whatever you can do to offset that pain, I would a man to find healthy mechanisms to deal with your pain because we all got pain, but how do we cope with that pain? How do we avoid the over feminine side? And how do we cope with it from a strong position of strength?
All right, just 1 second, cuz before you go, let me introduce our other guest. I know most of y'all can't see him. Brother Abdul Taylor, he's mobile right now. He's somewhere. I don't know where he at, but he there. hey, Ab, we had basically went into what manhood means, but definitely give the audience some background on yourself, some of the work you've been doing in the community. I mean, even go back as far as high school. I remember when we first met, some of the things you was doing, and just let the audience know exactly who you are, because I know people know you from living in Vauxhall, but people may not remember who you are and what you're still doing.
I'll be right back. Let me tend to this board right fast.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm originally from Newark. I'm a Brick City kid, Chadwick Avenue alumni. Um, 41 years old, married, kids, career. When I got to Vauxhall and I got to Union High School, I was a Muslim, born and raised in Islam, which is why the name Abdul. Going back to when we hung out with Todd, Nick, and all those other guys, Dave, and a bunch of other things. But even back then, I had a strong needing and yearning to connect to young people. And at the time, I was a youth in at the New Hope Baptist Church. And essentially, between feeding the needy, connecting to other young people, connecting to other families, we watch our generation blossom into the leaders who are trailblazing a path of excellence that you see now. Currently, I'm kind of in between right now, and because we live, there's certain things I can't say, but essentially, I am clergy, I am a preacher, and essentially, I have a strong love for the community, and manhood is something I believe is sorely missing from the community, whether it's the suburbs, whether it's urbanized settings. Manhood is missing. And unfortunately, because of the agenda that you're seeing out in the media, manhood, especially in the Black community, is being skewed. It's being effeminized. It's become, manhood becomes whatever it is that you want it to be. And I don't think we were reared in that capacity. We were reared that men took care of their families. We were reared that men led. We were reared that men stood together, unified. We were reared that it takes a whole village to raise a child. I grew up where when I was a kid, anybody could get at me if I was doing the wrong things, if I was acting out of line. If another man saw me, I got checked. We're in a day and time where you can't do that now.
You don't touch mine. That ain't your child. Don't touch my son.
Right.
But meanwhile, we supposed to just sit there and let him blow off his hand.
Right. Hey, whoever told me to put my light on, I got blue lights and LED lights because me and my wife like to host, and we like to do different things. So you're not gonna get natural light in this house.
No, Ab, you good. Listen, Ab.
Don't worry, Keisha normally can't see Keisha. Her light be terrible, so we can deal with you.
Hey, Ab, one of the things I want to ask you is, I got you and Arden on here for a reason, and both of y'all are in the ministry.
Mm-hmm.
Both of y'all a little. Arden, you're only a couple years younger than me. Arden is 10, 11 years younger than me. And I know that it's a lot of like both of y'all brought up the feminization of our young boys and what's going on with the agenda. And one thing that we discussed, Ab, is learning how to get our young men to understand manhood has emotion, but it is a balance with that emotion. What are the things, Ab, that you try to teach when you're dealing with the youth and stuff like that in that area?
Whew. That's a slippery slope because, we're dealing with, I've got, for instance, let me give you some background on my marriage. I have a blended situation. I've got a daughter that's about to be 16. I've got a stepson that's 18. And then I've got the boss, the 2-year-old that's about to be 3. And essentially, that 16 and that 18-year-old, their generation, man, there are times where I feel like they're lost. But it's a choice. They don't want to hear sound judgment, but you still got to give it to them. They don't want to hear wisdom, but you still have to give it to them. One of the things that I try to impart this branch, this village that is my house, is look, I exist as a Black man. I work in technology. So I see the world changing by the second. And I am trying to prepare you for a world that does not care about you. I am trying to prepare you so that you understand, especially as a man, as a Black man, that you've got to be twice as good to get half as much.
Mm-hmm. Or create your own lane.
Right.
And that still comes with grinding and working hard.
Right. Right. And I don't mean to veer left with this, man, but just to get back to ministry and manhood, part of that is somebody's got, oh, it's gonna be ugly how I say this. Somebody's got to play the spook who sat by the door. Somebody's got to be or exist in that world that our kids want to get to be able to say, hey, how you moving is not the way that it really works. My daughter, 4.0 student, principal's honor roll, and I'm telling her, listen, sweetheart, with the advent of AI, as they monetize artificial intelligence, in about 3 years, all of y'all that go to school, all of y'all that take out those Fannie Mae loans, y'all gonna matriculate and get degrees that's gonna be obsolete. Y'all gonna waste money, y'all gonna owe money, and you won't be able to do anything with these.
If you ain't getting into a particular trade and know that trade and craft.
That is correct. This is a great time to be an electrician. This is a great time to be a plumber. This is a great time to do all of that other stuff. Those things can't be automated.
Yeah, that's something that's gonna be needed.
Let me ask Arden. Now, we all in different areas of the country. And I think Arden, it might be in one of the major places in the country where the agenda is being propagated. Atlanta, Georgia area. So Arden, how you dealing with that? I know we haven't talked about the ministry aspect. I know you just into technology as well. How are you dealing with that? You know, you're a little bit younger than us. You at that pace. I know you know how to talk to these younger guys, but I know certain things that you're very stern on. How you deal with that, Arden?
Homosexuality is just like any other thing, right? When you talk to a homosexual, their defense is God loves me. If you look at the Democratic candidate that's running, he quotes scriptures left and right. And the fact of the matter is, I don't care who you are, God does love you. And so my preference may not be to be a homosexual. So if God loves them, I love them. But that's not my preference. And I think that from a reproduction standpoint, from a community standpoint, from a, I guess, cultural standpoint, it just perplexes me on how they try to exist.
Just think.
Cuz let him finish.
Oh, okay. I cut up.
Yeah, it perplexes me on how they plan on going to the next level. I live in Atlanta where the boys look like girls and the girls look like boys, and it perplexes me on what's going to happen 10 years from now, what's going to happen 20 years from now. So in my humble opinion, I love them, and in my humble opinion, I just try to be positive and know that we're all dealing with issues. Somebody is dealing with having too many wives, or somebody's dealing with having too many boyfriends, or there's an issue that we're all facing. And I just think with the love of God, we can overcome so many of our issues. And so that's my position, that love will overcome a lot of our issues.
I'm just Arden to explain my question, right? You teaching manhood. Say
Mhm.
if you were youth ministry, like
Yeah.
I know Ab had did, right? You teaching manhood, but because you in Atlanta, it's like we're never gonna exclude anybody whenever we teaching anything. We don't we're not doing that because and one of the things I think that and I need to say it, black people, in my opinion, black people have never been homophobic. Never. I
No,
think the agenda makes people think black people have never, historically, have never been homophobic towards
we got a
anybody.
gay guy in everybody's family. Oh, gay guy.
Exactly. So what I say, Arden, is I don't want to talk to go into that aspect
My
of life.
position is husband and wife, period.
I understand that.
And that's what I tell the youth, husband and wife. You know, that's
But
just the
what
bottom.
I wanted to get on, Arden, was explaining that balance, like I asked Ab, that balance of manhood and having emotion. Because I'm telling you, most of us, for example, my grandfather, excellent provider for his family. As we say, a man's man. I saw emotion from him and still see emotion from him at his advanced age. But his kids may have said, yo, he didn't show no emotion to the boys. He never hugged us. He never loved us. So dealing with different circumstances from where we're in the country, how do you deal with that, Arden? Like, and I know it could be a
That's
little bit easier
that's
for
the
you.
balance. You want to show a young man, hey, be respectful to your mom, be smart, go get a job, create a business. It's okay to cry. It's okay if you feel pain, to deal with pain and healthy, cope with your pain in a healthy manner. Don't cope with your pain with drugs. Don't cope with your pain with womenizing. Don't cope with your pain with stealing and robbing, but cope with your pain in healthy avenues. Cope with your pain with prayer, exercise, eating healthy. Find healthy avenues to cope with your pain. But if you're dealing with emotion, you got to know that you are a man. And so just because you in church and 90% of the women in church, 90% of the congregation is women, that doesn't mean for you to start acting like a woman. That don't mean for you to start walking and talking like a woman. Try to emulate a man. If you don't know what a man looks like, just try to find a good example. And so that's the thin line. You want to show people that it's okay to be emotional. You want to show them that it's okay to cope with their pain and healthy avenues. But you want to let a young man know that you don't need to wear a blouse. I'm in Atlanta. These guys literally go to the women's section and get blouses, and they these are rappers. These are some gangster rappers wearing women's jewelry and beads, and so they just flat out bisexual, and there's just a lot of weird energy going on. But
Well, that's
know that they don't have to take on the women.
that's by design as well. You know what I mean? Just think. You know what I mean? Just think of the music culture nowadays. They're pushing that. They're pushing that on these men. You know, just think who really getting deals. Guys are looking like girls. Can't rap for nothing, but they're getting the deals. They got them being the trendsetters. So you see some little boy sees that rapper wearing a dress and a skirt and a merce on his arm, thinking that's cool and acceptable. But say, you know, I'm not gay. I just like that style. No.
Brother Scoot, we have to be very careful with words on YouTube. I need everybody to understand that. That is a listen. That is a word that can get my whole channel shut down. So when we say it, we can say homosexuality. We can't say the F word. We can't say the G way. We can say homosexuality. So we got to be very, very careful to how we may use words. You can't use words like that on YouTube. Because I'll get the page will get flagged and then the whole page will get shut down. But listen, so at this portion of our conversation, we're at that thin line between teaching our boys, teaching our young brothers manhood and emotion. So now we want to get to teaching them integrity. How would you go about teaching them integrity? Scoot, let's go with you first.
Listen, for me, you got to teach them. Listen, because nobody sees you, that don't mean you don't do the right thing. You do the next right thing just because it's what you're taught, what was instilled in you. Because me, like I speak from personal preference. Like a few times in my life in the movie business, and I think you know, cuz I found $10,000 and $20,000 cash with 15 other co-workers working with me. I could have easily kept it. But like, it's not mine. What am I? That ain't mine. They misplaced that. It's in their house. They misplaced it. Now, a couple of times it was a setup, but it doesn't matter. If I find something, I'm returning it because it's not mine. So you have to have integrity.
That's called integrity. That's called integrity.
You know what I mean? You have to have it to teach it.
But I'm gonna ask y'all a question. But we all know the slime balls that ain't got no integrity. Like, yo, you ain't trustworthy for nothing. And you know they don't have no integrity. You know that they lack integrity. But like I said earlier, you're at a certain point in your life and you want them to step their game up. How do you
keep giving them
how do you balance that?
Pull-ups.
What'd you say, Scoot?
You have to keep giving them positive pull-ups. It's a must.
Ab, how would you deal with that?
Technology and kids. He watching this on my phone. Go back in there, Isaiah. Take that back in there. Close the door, please.
Ab, how would you deal with that?
I think that I believe in being anything that I do. I want to be honorable. So I got to walk it like I talk it. Integrity and character is what you are when people aren't looking at you. Just kind of really confirm, really just
the bathroom.
galvanizing what Scoot just said. If you don't have it, you can't teach it. And somebody that's honorable, that has integrity, has to. I think there has to be. They have to see it. So your daily lifestyle, and I'm sure Arden, you've heard this. There are gonna be a lot of people who will never open up a Bible. They just look at you. And essentially, some people, hey, if you walking upright, if you taking care of your family and you doing the things that are honorable, I think people are attracted to that. But people are attracted to discouragement and malice and a whole bunch of things. But as it directly relates to your question, I think you have to walk it like you talk it. I think you have to be honorable. The way you do that is you walk it like you talk it. If you say you're gonna do it, do it. My father was not always a guy of integrity. My dad did different things. But I think you have to walk it like you talk it. But you've got to be able to find that trigger in them that would help them and encourage them to want to walk honorably.
Hey, we got another guest on our illustrious panel. We got brother Coach Ab. I'm gonna just introduce Ab because I'm quite sure y'all seen him on a couple of my videos before. Ab is a football coach in the local area in North Jersey, as well as Ab works at what is formerly known as DIFUS. It is formerly known as DIFUS. So I asked Ab to come on, and Ab, we basically went over manhood and emotion, and Right now, we're at a level with displaying manhood. We want to display manhood and showing young boys that it's okay to have manhood as well, but you need to have a balance of emotion. And
Absolutely.
then we have one into the homosexuality aspect of it, but then we back to where we need to go. And I know that you had wanted to come on because I know you said you had a lot to say about this issue. Just let me get to two questions. Someone asked, does being effeminate equal homosexuality? And doing the right thing even when no one is watching, that's basically integrity.
Wait, what
Ab,
was that first question?
it was, does being effeminate equal homosexuality?
You mean a man being feminine?
Yeah, effeminate, having some feminine tendencies.
I mean, ah, that's a tough one. It all depends to what extent, because I've seen some brothers do some questionable things, but to each his own. That's a real touchy subject in 2020. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times with our young men, you may see some of the tendencies earlier, and then they come out later. When they switch over to the other side, but that's
I
all I'm
want
gonna say about it right
to
now.
listen. Y'all know me. Y'all know I like to throw a wrench and everything, right? We're gonna veer this conversation to an issue that's going on now, and it's very important. I want us to understand, and I want the females that's watching it or future watching it know our position on what's going on, and I'm gonna explain everything, and then I'm gonna let y'all go, and I'm gonna let Arden start first. We all know the situation with Kobe Bryant passing away and Gail King questioning Lisa Leslie about what she said. Now, in reference to, I'm not asking the question whether Gail King was wrong or not, because society is definitely judging her right now, whether she was wrong for asking the question or whether it was just inappropriate at this time because the man isn't even buried. I want to ask you guys a question in regards to Snoop's response. How do y'all feel about Snoop's response with using the language in the B word, or how he came at Gail? Do y'all think that that was appropriate for a man to be addressing a woman in public? Arden.
I'm glad you let me start, because Kobe was the first celebrity I ever mourned. I never seen a guy die. As you know, I'm an avid basketball fan, and I've seen him at a few basketball games recently. And when he comes in, he's very humble. Even though he's a super celebrity, he sits on the front row with his daughter. He just enjoys the game. And I was like, man, I'm looking forward to seeing him for the next 10, 20 years just grow into his legacy like a Dr. J or like a Michael Jordan. So when he died, it was like, wow, this is the first celebrity that I mourned. And so Gail pushed the envelope, and I felt like she reached a lot for some controversy a little bit. But considering Snoop Dogg, his background being a gangster and a Crip, and so I think it's befitting for his character. But him being a man at 50 and a granddad and a husband, and him making a gospel album last year, I would say he's 1,000% wrong. Gail, even if she's wrong, you know what I'm saying? She has the right to ask those questions, and because at the end of the day, that's part of who Kobe is. A rape case is that's his story. And so if she reached for more details for it 15 years later, that was her preference to do that. And so Snoop calling out her name, threatening her, Snoop said, I'm gonna pull up on you. I want to know, where's that energy for the George Zimmermans? I want to know, where's that energy for all these other people that have done injustices, and we want to take it out on little old Gail, old lady. And so I just feel like sometimes we do stuff for attention, and Kobe's dead. We mourned him, and I think what he left as far as being a hard worker and some of the things he stood for, we're gonna always remember him. But I think just downgrading Gail to that capacity and threatening her, I feel like that was 1,000% wrong.
I do want to add, because I'm gonna I'm gonna let Ab go first, then Coach Ab, and then Scoot on the subject, because Coach Ab is a big Kobe fan. I don't know about Abdul Taylor. I do want to add that before we finish about this question is, I was told this, and I was told to remind brothers this, that you see how the sisters are the ones getting that Gail. Let it be known, it's a lot. Majority of the people that's getting that Gail are black women. So a lot of times people may feel like black women do not defend black men. Just know that majority of the people that's getting that Gail are black women. Abdul, you could go ahead, brother.
When Kobe Bryant died, I cried multiple times. Kobe's 41. I'm 41. Kobe's married with kids. I'm married with kids. And I grew up with him. And I'm a diehard Laker fan. I'm not talking about diehard Laker fan when Kobe came into the league. I'm talking about Magic Johnson, A.C. Green, Byron Scott, Laker fan. Always been a Laker fan. Ups, downs, whatever. Here's what I think. What Snoop Dogg said was understandable, but it's not acceptable. Both Snoop Dogg and Gail represent that agenda. So essentially, what Snoop did with his platform is he perpetuated a white supremacist agenda. Listen, there was an excellent way to have addressed Gail without having to resort to disrespecting her. And essentially, like I said, I understand everybody's anger. The man ain't even in the ground yet. But I do not agree with Gail said. I don't agree. I thought it was absolutely horrible. I could feel Snoop's rage, and I could understand it, but I don't think it was acceptable. I think that we can't perpetuate what they say about us. Here it is. You know, you got two millionaires disrespecting each other. Black man disrespecting a black woman. I think that there was a better way for him to use his platform to express how he felt without having to tear another sister down. Now, here's the thing. Every sister ain't a sister. Every sister's not a sister. But there was a way to handle that without being ugly. That's where I'm at. I understand it's not acceptable. I think it just perpetuates a whole nother agenda. And he's worth what? He's worth 200 million. She's worth several million. Money wise, you guys are both a part of that agenda. You both are part of that machine. If you know, I just think that there was a better way to handle that and to point towards the positive memory who Kobe Bryant was.
Coach Ab, this is a big Kobe fan here, y'all. I mean, he ain't been right since, man.
Yeah, I'm still emotional. But just like Abdul, I'm a diehard Laker fan. Before Kobe, before Shaq, I lived through the Eldon Campbell, Sedell Three, the hard times of the '90s.
Kwame Brown.
I've been, you know what I'm saying? I've been a Laker fan since '85.
Bloody Diva.
You feel me?
Next one, huh?
This one,
yeah.
Man. This one, you heard me say Sedell 3, right? I'm taking
it
back.
My God, Cedric Sabalas.
Yeah, this one definitely hit me hard, man. And I'm definitely opposite of you guys, man. On this one, I feel like Gail was classless and unprofessional. I understand that she is a journalist and she has a job and she has things that she has to address. But I'm not gonna sit up here and say Snoop is wrong for bashing a black woman when this same black woman tried to destroy and tear this black man down before he even is placed in the ground. God rest his soul. But it's like it seems to me like she a puppet and somebody's holding the strings over her and telling her, "Oh, bring this up, bring that up." You know, and I like the way Lisa Leslie handled it. You know what I'm saying? Props to her for dealing with it the way she did. But I don't have a problem with the words that Snoop chose. If you're gonna act a certain way, I'm gonna address you a certain way. For every action, there's a reaction. Just like we are as human beings, Snoop and Kobe had a relationship. We all emotional about this whole thing, and while we're still emotional, you're gonna go this route and talk about this man like this. Like I said, before he's even buried, like come on, Gail, you could have did a better job with that. And I'm not. And another reason, her and Oprah, you know, they Harvey Weinstein is their boy. So, you know, you want to talk about Kobe and his incident with, you know, a sexual assault allegation. What's up with their boy Harvey, you know? They still support him. They in pictures with him all over, you know, like, come on, man.
Scoop, go ahead, cuz.
Yeah, so you just hit the nail on the head. You know, they bashing us brothers, but they still go all cool and crunch with that upper echelon of the paler skin, but continue to bash us. So, like you say, I don't really think Snoop was wrong. He was very harsh on her, but that's him. I wouldn't have went off on her like that in public. Now, if we'd had a personal conversation, who knows what I'd said to her. But you know, you put yourself out there. What they say? You leave your butt out there. Sometimes gonna get cut off. You ain't got it covered. She had her own agenda with that. It was clear, just like, you know, because I watched it and I responded to her on YouTube. You know, I put a response in, and I said, you know, you saying that you didn't know, but then if you continue to listen to her video, she talked about how she told him what part she wanted in. So therefore, you was right there with the production team and editing team for what was displayed on TV, what segment to play. She tried to backdoor it, and now, you know, didn't expect the backlash. You get what you sow. You ain't never been for us.
Hey, listen, I like all y'all answers, man. I just like I told Coach Ab yesterday and Dwayne on the phone on here, right? The funniest thing about all this is, why would she ask Lisa Leslie this question? Someone who's Laker royalty. It's like she set herself up to ask a question that she know out of all people, Lisa Leslie would never have threw Kobe under the bus. Like, I just think it's weird. Like Ab said, and all of us agree on, sometimes we need to really understand the agenda that's going on.
Yeah, try to play on her weakness in her morning.
And understand that there are some invisible forces going on. So I wanted to ask that question to throw the wrench in the game a little bit, because I want people to know that sometimes when we discuss manhood, it's always, some people think that it's a dominatory thing over our black sisters. And that's,
hey, can I add one more thing?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
People a lot. First of all, when Snoop said he was gonna pull up, Snoop ain't pulling up on nobody. I think he was just talking when he said that. I think he was just saying that figuratively. Because he ain't stupid and he don't want to lose everything trying to attack no woman in no way, shape, form, or fashion. That's number one. And now people are like, I see people like, oh, she's receiving death threats. People are going too far. She receiving death threats? I don't feel bad. MLK received death threats. Malcolm X received death threats. A lot of our black leaders.
Well, us black men, every black man get death threats just walking outside.
She did.
Now I want to, like I told y'all, like I said,
here's something people not addressing though.
Go ahead, Arden.
We could look at Kobe and see he ain't had to rape nobody. He is a handsome man. He was a star from a high school, and he was rich.
Right.
So the whole movement, common sense could tell you that he wasn't raping nobody. That girl did a money play. She never showed her face. She got paid off, and there was a money play. So anybody with common sense could see that. And so
Lisa said that. Lisa said, Kobe wasn't like that. He didn't push up for me to get a chick for him.
All I can say is, all I can say before we go into the next topic is, Gail, as a seasoned journalist, did not understand the word that I'm about to use. Everything is alleged until proven otherwise. And actually, if you don't know, Gail has opened herself up for major lawsuits because she considered that girl a victim. She's an alleged victim. So Kobe's estate definitely has a case. But moving on to a different aspect of our manhood discussion is, I'm gonna ask you four brothers, what do you think the women expect from us when it comes to manhood? Arden, you go first, Arden.
they want money. and as a man, if we're gonna be a part of business, it's one thing about business. I don't care what industry you in. I don't care if you are a teacher. I don't care if you are a chef. I don't care if you are whatever industry you in. The bottom line is to make sales, make transactions happen, bring that money in. And so as a man, we need to put ourselves in position to make money. You see what Donald Trump did? He made money. He put himself in position to make money. And so his wife is there for the money. Our wives are there for the money. They love us, but they also want that money.
Well, then again, who really wants struggle love?
All I would say is, Arden, Ab Taylor could go next, but they coming for you in them questions. They gonna come for you, Arden. Go ahead, Ab.
Arden, I got your back, Arden. Don't worry about it. I got your back.
So, just to give you some exposition, my wife comes from a mother and father that have been married for 56 years. So understand that when I stepped to her, I had to come correct. I could say who his name is, but that probably wouldn't. She would probably go off on me if I'm probably watching this live right now. But I believe Arden is 100% right, but there's more to that. One of the things that I say to my wife is, we could be emotional, we could be sensitive, we could be ambitious, we could be all of that stuff, but nothing moves a family without money. You say, hey, I got dreams of buying this. You can say, hey, I want to relocate. You can say, hey, I've got this great idea. You can put the plan together. You can script everything. But at the end of the day, if there's no equity, if there's no capital, it does not happen. So I'm going to say, and I'm a walk light when I say this. I believe that I'm gonna use my wife because I can't say what women want. I done been in a few different situations where this question could go a whole lot of different ways, and I believe it's subjective because it's about who that woman is. So I'm gonna just talk about my wife. My wife expects me to listen. My wife expects me to do what I say I'm going to do. My wife expects me to be a father to our kids, and not just the one we made together, but my wife expects me to be close. I have a blended situation. Understand what I'm saying? She expects me to take care of the bills. Not necessarily all of them, but all that heavy stuff, mortgage, car notes, PSC, especially if you own, any of y'all brothers got a house, all of that stuff. That's the expectation. But here's the thing. I'm okay with that because while I do all of that, sometimes I don't like it. Sometimes it get on my nerves. Sometimes I feel like you're asking too much. But in doing those things, I'm teaching my daughter and my toddler and my son-in-law, don't call him stepson, what a man is. What a man is. Do I argue about it? Sometimes I say you're going too damn far. Yeah, but that's my wife.
That listening thing is amazing. They want you to listen.
Oh yeah, and you better. Arden, you married?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we got to listen.
Coach Ab, you up next, brother.
What was that question again?
The question was, yeah.
The question?
What do women expect from us when it comes to manhood?
To be the provider, to be the leader, to be the head of the household. Yeah, they want some money too. They want a little bit. They want a lot. Yeah, they want a lot of money. But they definitely want us to be providers, listeners, kings, husbands, fathers. They want all that. But on the flip side, you have some that want to like, I see a lot of stuff on social media, man, and it's two types of women. The women that we're talking about right now, and then there's some other women out there that just they got their hand out. You get what I'm saying? And those are the ones, and I've seen women like, they just want to be taken out. They just want to be pampered. They just want to be spoiled. You know what I'm saying? And that's why brothers like us become husbands, so we ain't got to deal with that other stuff.
I got one question from a young lady. She says security, which is more than money, is knowing that the man is making sure I'm good in every aspect, have my back in the good and bad.
Absolutely.
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 Yeah.
That's a relationship, period.
Brother Haas, what's your aspect on the question?
Listen, me myself, I agree. First of all, ain't nobody up for that struggle love. Trust me. I was married, and it was a struggle because she wanted to lead when she didn't have no license, and me getting tired of arguing and debating on some things, I fell back. I said, okay, you want to drive? You drive the bus. I'm going to show you something. Once you bump your head, let me know. So it happened. I said, see, listen, you're not meant to lead at this time. Sometimes you have to play your role. All she wanted was money. I didn't let her work. I said, you don't have to work. You just stay home. Boom. I'm going to provide. I'm going to take care of, all that. All what she wanted me to do was go to church with her and this, that, and the third. But I'm talking not right now, Isaiah. But I couldn't fulfill that all the time because we're having a special needs son. See, she was in the dance ministry. So I'll be going to church, but I'm not getting what I want from the church because I have to maintain my son. And he was at that time, his behavior really was bad. He had a lot of spells and things. So for me, it was easier just not to go, but not because I didn't want to go, but because of his situation with him. I wasn't getting no enjoyment out of it, and bringing him, the congregation was getting a lot of was being disrupted. But yeah, a woman wants everything. But on the same token, a real woman will give you everything as long as you're giving it as well. It's a vice versa. Both of y'all, it's a give and take. It's a give and take.
So we got one question. We got basically a statement from Lorraine and Pam. Lorraine agreed with what Pam said about in reference to security, and Pam had made another statement in reference to listening. Listening is skill, not hearing, and we all know the difference. You hear a lot of stuff, but it's key words and key situations that you got to pay attention to. It's
Listen
like that
key.
bell that just ding, 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 ding.
Listen is very key.
So going forward, I think we're gonna try to close, but usually when I try to close, it's always another 20 minutes, half an hour. But going forward, what do you guys think us as men could collectively do more to teach manhood, display manhood, and just do better in our communities? It's like, one thing Ab said that was key is Ab said first when he was talking about his village, he was speaking about his home. And I think a lot of times, and I may fall short in this aspect, we'd be so busy worried about outside and what's going on outside the world and who we work with and who we indulge with outside, and we don't focus on our own home first. As they used to say, charity starts at home. So, what do you guys think going forward? How we could be better brothers, fathers, husbands, friends, co-workers when it comes to manhood and just holding ourselves to a higher standard and holding our friends to a higher standard. Arden, you can go first, brother.
I want to thank you for the topic of manhood. I think that I never really thought about the two together, man and the word hood, really what it all entails. And so I guess when you just live in life and going through the motions, you don't take time to think about these basic things, even though it's basic, it's really instrumental on how you can accomplish your goals and how you interact with your family and whoever you interact with. And so I think that once we realize it's kind of like relationships. I haven't met anyone that says relationships are easy. I haven't met anybody that said marriage is easy. And so that's the same way I feel about manhood. I haven't met anybody that can really say life is easy. And so as long as we here on earth, we just got to take it one day at a time, learn from our mistakes, grow from our mistakes, but try the next day. You know what I mean? You one check away from being a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? You just one step away from reaching your goal. And I'm not saying a millionaire is your goal, but what I'm saying is that the next day can present so many endless opportunities. So taking life one day at a time, learning from our mistakes and maximizing and capitalizing on those day by day opportunities we have, I think that that's the best way to accomplish and be good at manhood. Learning from mistakes and maximizing your next day.
Hey, Ab, your mic is muted. Ab, oh, there you go. There you go, Ab. You good, Ab?
Oh, okay. The most powerful thing that I've seen when it comes to us as men, us as black men, in 1995, I had the opportunity to go to the Million Man March. And when I got off that train and we walked to the White House, and every place I bumped into, there was a brother here, a brother there, light skin, dark skin, brown skin, Caesars, afros. The most powerful thing that I think that we can do to perpetuate and push manhood is to be united. I don't think that we have seen we haven't seen men really link together and say, look, here's what our agenda is, here's what the goals are, and actually do it. But not just do it united, do it in number, do it collectively, do it in excellence. I really believe that when people see that, they got back all the way up. They know that we're together. They know that we are serious. They know that we're about our people. They know that we're about our community. They know that we're about our families. Anything now, sisters got this on lock. Sisters Man, sisters do everything together. Men, black men, eh,
You talking about brotherhood?
right? Well, okay, yeah. I mean, they kind of go hand in hand. But essentially, I believe that irons or steel sharpens steel. And whatever I'm lacking in as my brother and a man and another man, if I'm falling short somewhere, you can help pull me up. I think that we must be united. We have to pour into one another, and that takes effort. That takes commitment. That takes brotherly love to support what manhood is. Even what we're doing right now, talking live, we're pushing forward what manhood is. We're not fighting. We're not arguing. We're not getting ready to pull out a gun and try to kill each other. We're trying to come up with positive ways to ultimately push what's honorable forward.
Brother Haas.
Yeah. Well, it was a good topic tonight. Manhood, brotherhood. I want for y'all what I want for myself.
Right.
All right. So I'm always going to give you some positive pull-ups. You might not like it. You might not like the way I bring it to you, but I'm going to give it to you. And Quentin, you would know my favorite word used to be, my mouth ain't bloody, my back ain't dirty, so I must ain't said nothing wrong. You know? But yeah, you know, I love each and every one of y'all just because. I rather, you know what I mean? Until you give me a reason not to, why shouldn't I love you? And that's with anybody. You know, but you only got one time to cross me. And I know how to deal with you then. But being a man takes a lot. For those who say they're a man, you just can't say it. We have to show and prove. We have to live it and breathe it every day. Because what we do, other people are watching. Rather it's our kids, the neighbors, you know what I mean, our co-workers, society, somebody's always watching. What there's the teachers? When you point your finger at somebody, there's always three pointing back at you. So if you got yourself in check first, you know what I mean, you're always going to find something to work on. Nobody's perfect.
For those in the chat, remember to like and subscribe to the chat on YouTube. In closing, I'm gonna tell the brothers that's on the panel to stay on after I close, because we'll still be
this
on.
was too short. We need another one.
And one thing that I want everybody to know, that we're all learning as we go along in life. And at this stage, one thing I learned even from this talk is, as men, we need to do a little bit of things that are a little symbolic. And what I mean by that is, talking to a lot of the females since I started the page, is that I don't think a lot of females realize that men do check men. As we say, iron sharpens iron.
Right.
But what I'm learning now is that men, as men, like what Ab said, having these talks in public, having these discussions in public, being seen, building each other in public, needs to happen a little bit more, because this stuff do happen behind the scenes. You will get that text from a brother that ain't talked to you in a while and be like, look, I love you. I love you. Just want to let you know everything is okay and keep your head up. But I think a lot of times, a lot of things need to be on the surface so our women can see that we are being accounted for. Like I said, thank you everybody for joining the show. On behalf of these brothers did a fabulous job, and we like to have more shows like this. And I hope in the future, in the very near future, we'll have shows like this. Thank you. Have a blessed night.
Thank you.